This is another area of super importance, the surrogate mom's pregnancy and health history. Some worry that one pregnancy is just not enough of a test to know if the woman is a candidate for surrogacy. But so long as there was no complications in that pregnancy, she really is a good candidate based on that. Now, multiple C-sections, though, can be a serious concern because it's a complication waiting to happen. We have a current 40% twin rate right now, and a pregnancy with multiple fetuses puts great stress on the uterus, and the risk of rupture increases significantly. So we don't accept anyone with more than 2 C-sections. In addition, we look for a healthy height and weight ratio. There is a chart called the BMI, which is the body mass index that we refer to. We do get inquiries from women who are overweight, and we explain the health risks to them and the baby. And we offer to support them through a healthy weight loss program, such as Weight Watchers, if they are serious about getting healthy and wanting to help a couple. Now, the overall key here is good health, and a healthy lifestyle definitely promotes this. The obvious thing that everyone knows is, of course, no smoking, no drinking. That's just a given. We know of some of the surrogates' husbands that smoke, but they don't do that in the house. They always do it outside. They don't even do it in the car, as they don't want their children or their wife around that. And when we go to their home, we can tell if someone smokes in the home very easily. And we also believe that someone who takes depression or anti-anxiety medications is not a good candidate for surrogacy. Now, I have here allowable medical conditions. You know, the fertility doctor or the obstetrician or even a specialist really in the type of medical condition is the one who needs to determine whether or not a pregnancy is safe for the surrogate and the baby. Because you can't know what the true condition of the surrogate is just based on the medication she's taking or what she says. So it's always best to get a recommendation and even a letter from the treating physician that the pregnancy would not be harmful to her or the baby. We have had candidates, actual surrogate moms with conditions such as thyroid disorder, but it's under control, and we got all the proper documentation that there was no concern, and we were able to go forward without any issue at all. Now, we never, ever accept an applicant who has had problems with high blood pressure or insulin-treated diabetes, even if they claim their condition is under control. I mean, these risks are just too high to consider going forward with her. It's critical, as I've said many times. I mean, every piece of this is important. And important isn't even a strong enough word. There's a reason that all these things that I'm listing here need to be the traits in the surrogate mom. So I apologize in advance for all the uses of critical and essential, because but they really are. You know, it is critical that the surrogate mom be primarily motivated for altruistic reasons. Yes, everyone can use an extra dollar, but there isn't enough money in this to make that the primary focus. If it is clear that the surrogate mom is primarily motivated by money, I assure you that it will be a difficult journey, and in the end, it will cost the intended parents more financially and emotionally than they could ever have imagined. I have had surrogate moms who choose to help an infertile couple because their family budget requires that she have an income. One could say that is motivation by money, but it's really not. I mean, she feels it's a great trait. She is helping someone have their family, and they are affording her to stay home with hers just a while longer. And I can understand that. And as most know, fertility treatments are super expensive and many times outside the reach of many couples. And for different reasons, but such as a tubal ligation, a surrogate mom can no longer have children naturally. She is now remarried and wants to have children with her new husband, but cannot afford the medical procedures. Again, on the surface, this appears like a financial motive, but it really isn't. She understood what it was to have a child when she wanted one, and now she understands wanting a child and being unable to have one. This arrangement helps both the surrogate mom and the couple achieve their goals. A licensed psychologist should always be used to determine if the potential surrogate mom is appropriate. It's a picture of Dr. Red. She is our program psychologist, and she is an expert in diagnostic evaluations, which is again, is a critical piece. She's been in practice for more than 25 years, and her role is so critical that because she determines if the surrogate mom has the coping skills and the ability to manage through a surrogacy arrangement. We require that the surrogate mom attend monthly group meetings and private meetings with the psychologist at her discretion. Because even in the best of surrogate arrangements, there are issues that arise. Sometimes they're not even related to the surrogacy itself. For example, I had a surrogate mom whose dad was diagnosed with cancer and died all within just a few months. And of course, that was during her year with us. And even though this was not surrogacy related, of course, she needed some support and counseling, and we gave that to her. Life continues to happen throughout the surrogacy, and it's definitely best to have a professional on board that can help everyone deal with anything that arises. As a rule, we always perform background checks on every surrogate mom candidate. Obviously, we receive a signed release from the surrogate, so this investigation can be performed. A couple in an independent arrangement doesn't have this kind of access. But we feel it's important as it gives us the ability to cross-check her answers on the application and also tells us a lot more about her in a short amount of time. We can see if she's about to lose her house, for example, or if she's being sued by someone. We can see her driving record to know if she has a history of driving drunk, excessive speeding tickets, or anything that would be of a serious concern. For us, this is always done before a surrogate mom is cleared into the program. I'm sure you have read that California is the surrogacy capital of the world. It is here that surrogacy was first tried in the courts and the outcome was favorable for the intended parents. Through the years, it has gotten only stronger here. There was a case a few years back that truly clarified the roles of every party, and although I'm not a lawyer, I am going to tell you some basic facts about this case so you understand why I only do business here in California. The case was Bazenka versus Bazenka. And essentially, obviously, it's a surrogate arrangement, so there's the intended mom, intended dad, and the surrogate mother and her husband. But there was also an anonymous egg donor and sperm donor, as the couple did not have the genetic material to create their own biological embryo. So along the way, halfway through the pregnancy, the intended parents decided to divorce. The husband did not want to continue in his marriage, nor did he want to continue in the surrogate arrangement. He tried to say, well, you know, I'm not the biological dad, so I have no ties and I shouldn't have any responsibility. And as their marriage was falling apart, the surrogate mom was upset, and she felt that she was misled by this couple and, you know, considering their marital status. And she also filed for a petition to keep the baby. She said that that the child was better off with her. So everyone goes to court, and the judge, very basically, and I am making this very basic because obviously you know what legal, you know, court battles are like. But in the end, the judge just held up the contract and said, hey, you guys, you know, you all had the intent to have a surrogate arrangement. Intended mom, intended dad, you intended to parent this child, so you get to do that. Surrogate mom, you never intended to parent this child, so you do not get to do that. And he just basically upheld the contract, and the parents' names were put on the birth certificate as instructed in the contract, and it was basically solidified at that point. I mean, that is, you know, the essential basis to what surrogate parenting is all about. Now, there are other states that are doing surrogacy, so of course it isn't absolutely necessary that every surrogate arrangement occur in California. It is just that California is years ahead of everyone else. The key is to ensure you are not doing your surrogacy in a state that either does not recognize a surrogate contract, meaning it is not enforceable there, or that is flat out illegal there. I don't have to tell you how many couples have had difficulties and even lost their children to surrogate mothers because they had no legal leg to stand on. The internet is full of these stories.